What's going on, everybody? Doing a little bit of different content today. This is actually a video recorded specifically for YouTube. This is a game I played off stream, so obviously cannot do the stream and VOD review, but did want to look at this game because it's actually a really interesting game with a pretty unique line of play, I think. So yeah, doing a little VOD review today. Looking at the initial portals, it's Artifact Anvil, Larger Legends, and Silver Symphony. I actually hate pretty much all of these. It's a pretty terrible series of portals. Yeah, I voted for Larger Legends here just because I think it's the least egregious of the options. I think Silver Symphony is pretty much recombobulate a bait. Like, very easy to just get completely screwed on 3-2 by everybody getting recombobulated. You don't get it. You don't have a good setup for it. Everybody maxes out. And Artifact Anvil is just so high rolling right now. Pretty much if you get any of the gold ones, the good gold ones, you know, you get Diamond Hands, Gambler's Blade, Gold Collector, Goldmancer's stuff. I think actually Gambler's Blade and Mogul Mail are actually a bit lower in the stats of the other three, but they're all pretty obnoxious if you do get them. So I try to stay away from Artifact Anvil whatever I can, at least right now in my games. Got a little bit of a standard opening here. I do see the Big Shot Corki. I actually really like Corki Headliner. Sorry, the 8-bit Corki Headliner. I actually do really like Corki Headliner. I think it's really solid. I think the Big Shot one's a little bit better, but I do end up picking up the 8-bit one pretty often. I do see it. It's just a good bit of tempo out of the early game. And just kind of set yourself up for a solid stage 2. Holding on to the Sentinel frontline here. Lilia and Cassante. Gonna get a little bit more gold here. I actually thought I was getting like a gold opening here. It was kind of weird. I thought I was maybe getting like that weird like 2-item, like 10, 15 gold opening. I don't know if you've seen that one. And then BAM! Another Corki 2. Seeing a lot of Corki 3 actually lately in my games. I'm currently floating around 300, 400 LP, Grandmaster EU. And yeah, we're actually seeing a lot of Corki reroll. I'd say maybe like every other game I see someone with Corki 3, but I haven't really had the opportunity to play it myself. But it seemed like a pretty good opening. Obviously, definitely prefer to have the Big Shot Corki here. 8-bit Corki. You know, I am getting stacks here without having like the Garen or anything, but it is going to be a bit of a weaker stage 2, not having access to that Big Shot unless I find a Kai'Sa or an MF. And actually, yeah, it was that weird opening where you have like 2 items and like 10 gold, and it's a really strange one. So looking at my augments here, Shock Treatment, Twin Terror, Frequent Flyer. It's pretty much all rerolls, sadly. Shock Treatment honestly isn't that bad if you have some sort of value static shiv. You get like a Emo Annie opener maybe. Something like that, I think it's pretty fine. Twin Terror, I was thinking like low key, is this a Twin Terror angle? I think I could have considered it, honestly. I don't know. I'm a little bit wary of this augment. I haven't really got much experience with it, but I think if there was ever a time, I think maybe when you have 2-star Corkis on 2-1, it's probably a pretty reasonable angle for it. I think I was definitely thinking about it. You see, I do reroll the other 2, because I was like, you know, honestly, is this a Twin Terror 1 angle? Maybe. Got blinged out here. Not as good as it was last patch. Did get nerfed a little bit. Blinged out 2-1. Actually, last patch was actually still really good. Even basically just brute forcing it from you know, almost nothing. It still had like an average 4 or something in the stats. It was a super insane augment last patch. Super effective. Patient Study, always pretty solid. Generally a bit better if you're losing. But it is the Larger Legends Galaxy, Larger Legends Portal, which means we do all have a bit more base health. So it is a bit reasonable to take Patient Study and lose. And honestly, I'm not feeling super confident in my board. Cassante 1 frontline right now. I have the 2 Corki 2s, but it's 8-bit Corki. So unless I luck into a Kai'Sa or find an early MF at level 4 or something, level 4, level 5, it's pretty unlikely that I'll actually be able to get Big Shot online. Like, I need a very specific hit. So my board isn't actually that strong. Even though there's 2 Corki 2s on deck, my frontline is very weak. I'm basically just going to be looking to try and kill as many units as I can. I think I end up giving up on the Twin Terror here after thinking about it a little more. I'm pretty sure that I decided it's definitely plausible, but not worth the chaos. Do you see Trade Sector here? And obviously I'm thinking about this Corki 3. Trade Sector is maybe a line I could take, just trying to force the Corki 3, but I think realistically, if I'm going to hit it, I'm going to hit it. And if I'm not going to get it, I'm probably not going to force for it. So I end up opting for the Patient Study here. So I think it's a very solid augment. I think it was a little better when 9 was a bit stronger. This is obviously on patch 1324B, which is the Fast 9 nerf patch. I think Fast 9 is still very good. I don't think it's worth giving up on if you have a spot for it. But I do think it's noticeably weaker. I'll opt to just make 10 here with the Patient Study. I slam an Even Shroud just to maybe get 1 or 2 more kills. It's the only item I have. I think Even Shroud is pretty fine to slam if you're looking for an AD line. And starting with this 8-bit, I'm probably leaning more towards trying to pick a Caitlyn this game, assuming I don't land the Corki 3. So, probably thinking more about an 8-bit line here. 8-bit Ezreal, something like that. So, just gonna be slamming the even trail. It's probably gonna scale into whatever I end up playing in the long run. And yeah, like I said, my board, not that good. We are gonna get level 4 here for the patient study loss. You do get it from the win as well. Obviously, you get 2 XP, 3 XP. So we are gonna be getting level 4 here. Thanks, Past Me, for showing the augment in case anybody wanted to read it. There you go. That's pretty helpful. But, yeah, so we are gonna be getting level 4 here. Just go ahead. I'm not gonna skip. I'm already running the game faster, it's fine. Which is going to give us access to that 2 sets to the front line. Do end up getting a 7th Corki here. So I'm already thinking, like, you know, it's probably pretty reasonable. We could see a Corki 3 this game. Although I do have basically no items for it right now. So even if I did get the Corki 3, like, next shop, my board would still pretty much suck. I have no big shop. I mean, it'd be better. I'm not going to say that Corki 3 isn't better than Corki 2, don't get me wrong. But it wouldn't be that good either. Definitely not an insanely strong line so far, even if I do have 7 of the Corkis. I'm still probably ending... Probably trying to lose most of stage 2. Trying to just kill as many units as I can, but probably looking for a lost streak. Put it here as Epitaph, Inspiring Epitaph. Still a very strong augment even post-nerf. Definitely one of the best combat augments you can get. And, you know, they got the cannon, super fan, true damage, pretty much everything you could ask for. Sante 2, just for fun. So I'm going to take a loss here. Almost at killing a unit, but not quite. So of course, yeah, when you're lose streaking, your general goal is to be trying to maximize killing as many units as you can. Trying to take as little damage as possible. I managed to kill 1 out of 7 so far. So it's better than 0 out of 7, you know? Can't argue with that. Definitely had worse progress, I'm sure. And yeah, still sitting on these 7 Corkis. Cassante pair, Lilia pair, but we are making 20. So my economy is pretty strong. 20 on 2-3 is pretty good. And obviously with patient study, I'm not even falling behind in the experience game. I'm pretty much even with most people who be leveling right now. I'm actually 2 XP ahead, right, of the average. If someone leveled to 4, they'd be 2 XP behind me right now, so... That's why patient study is pretty good, especially if you're losing. Get a lot of value from it. And we're going to end up fighting a player quite a bit weaker here. Definitely not as strong as the previous 2 rounds. And I think we do end up taking a win here, which obviously isn't great for the streak. But... in this kind of context, I think the streak is less of a priority because I'm not really scrambling for gold. Kind of got a sort of that pseudo gold opening. Did not give me the 20 gold pretty quickly. And I am playing patient study, which means I'm kind of getting gold for free every turn. You know, you're getting 2/3 gold every turn effectively because 1 XP equals 1 gold. 4 gold buys 4 XP. So basically a 1-to-1. I end up taking the 3 gold bow here. I think I'm just angling for that kind of the red buff, I guess. I mean, I was basically looking for the highest value component that would make a Corki item, I suppose, or just a good AD item. Obviously, I don't want to let angle for Last Whisper. And yeah, I think it was 3 gold rod, 3 gold tier. Tier was probably pretty reasonable. Maybe for blue buff, maybe for Shojin. And then bam! Natural the Corki 3, just like that. Also gonna get that Cassante pair here. But like I said, honestly, still not a great board. Gonna get that 2 Guardian in, up for the Pantheon of the Taric, just a bit of a stronger unit. But honestly, still not that great a board. Definitely stronger than I was last turn, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna auto level to 5 with that patient study as well. But still not honestly a great board. Simply because I just don't have any items from my backline right now. Sitting on only that even shroud basically. They'll be fighting an opponent with vampirism. And a blue buff actually, blue buff, so much better this patch. Definitely an interesting slam. Good on Ezreal, good on Jhin, good on Kai'Sa. Big shot Lion really loves blue buff actually. Pretty much all the big shots benefit. Except Corki himself, I suppose. And MF. Not that great with the blue buff either. See what I could do here. Honestly, bit of a mistake on my end. I probably should have slammed the bow. This could be a bow diff, to be honest. And, you know, getting a 2-3 streak going into this, into these Krugs would be ideal. And it's definitely hard. Like, I could sack this one. But I think I'm more down to just save HP. Like I said before, like, when you're in a good economic position, I think the streak is kind of less at the forefront of your mind because you've already kind of got the gold. Obviously, a streak is nice, and especially keeping a win streak is nice. If you could convert gold into keeping a win streak, that's a completely different matter. But I think when you're already kind of stable, I'm already like 30 gold going, you know, into 2-6, basically. It's already a pretty solid position economically. So I'm not like, you know, extremely worried about, you know, keeping that 2 streak, keeping that 3 streak, even though it is obviously really nice. Losing here would probably be better for me overall. So at this point, I think I'll opt not to slam the bow at this point, because I'm like, well, honestly, I'd rather lose here than win. So just gonna try and you know, hope I kill as many units as possible. Cassante with the MVP play, sadly, did not kill the center barely. But yeah, we are gonna get a 2-unit loss here, which is pretty much optimal. Giving that 2 streak into Krugs, hitting the +1 gold for 2 rounds in a row, which is really nice. You know, better than I could have expected probably. Gonna try to blitz here on the shop. Definitely thinking about that. We got a set here as well. Yeah, just gonna end up replacing the Lilia. And I'm gonna start looking at this Bruiser line. Guardians are definitely a bit nerfed nowadays compared to previous patches. Unless you're opting for kind of like a super fan line, then Guardian's obviously still very relevant. You put on that Guardian, 2 Sentinel front line. But I think if you're not playing super fan, I'm kind of more of a fan of like a 2 Sentinel, 2 Bruiser kind of formation nowadays. So I'm actually just gonna opt to hold the set here instead in general. Get like a bajillion, 1 bajillion units. Gonna hold the Garen there. I end up holding the Aphelios as well. I was looking to make 50, but then I kind of realized that I actually want to play Aphelios because I get 3 Heartsteel in immediately. Like my level here is perfect. Puts me at 50 gold, level 6. I get Heartsteel in. Obviously Heartsteel great for this stage. Gonna go ahead and just slam Crown Guard, Red Buff. Both 2 really solid items. Gonna help me preserve HP through this stage 3. Obviously it's a bit less of a concern because do have that larger health pool. But you know, it's still nicer to kind of save health where we can. You got this red buff now. Corki's a fair bit stronger. Obviously, red buff for Corki. He does already have anti-heal, but obviously he applies the red buff pretty well. Got a nice AoE spell. And red buff is a really, really good DPS item regardless. Just very high damage output for these attack carries. And yeah, we're gonna take this round pretty easily. And yeah, actually my position here is pretty great. The patient study is actually really paying off. I managed to get level 650 gold. Already chilling at 50. So going into augments here. Cybernetic uplink 1, parting gifts, harm assist 1. These are all pretty mid. I think uplink 1 is okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and reroll the 2 right here. And that's a unified. I actually really like unified. I didn't really like it at the start of the set, but I've ended up liking it more and more. I think that's kind of generally the nature of these things, isn't it? Stuff like unified. Kind of boring, honestly. But I think, like, you know, as you play more of the set, you're like, it's boring. Bulk, that's pretty boring, but bulk's pretty good. Unified, it's pretty boring, but it's pretty good. It's just good defensive stats. It's gonna scale really well with the bruises. Obviously, I've got that extra 100 team-wide HP from the bruises and the extra resists from the sentinels. So it's just kind of amplifying it all. And you're gonna get in that 3-3 formation, so we get the unified value. Always keeping the Cassante positioned close to the Corki. So I'm actually taking advantage of the Armor Shred and Aphelios next to him as well. I could have leveled here, but I didn't really have a great +1. I could have added Garen, but, you know, 3-8-bit. Didn't really matter. So while generally, I think if you could level and sit on 30 gold, it's pretty good most of the time to do it in stage 3. And up to not do it, because I don't have a good +1 to add. I think Poppy was my best one, but Poppy was pretty expensive. If I leveled and added Poppy, it's kind of a lot of money. So I ended up just choosing to just sit instead. You're checking here, 20 XP to level. Obviously, I'm leveling a little bit off curve, but like I said, some decent resistance level. I do consider the rapid fire here, but I think Poppy is just way better as a unit. Poppy in stage 3 is like so hard to kill. I have Moisture as well, so it doesn't feel totally wasted. Just gonna get out of the center entirely. If I had an Echo, maybe I would consider the center. Like if this was an Echo with Crown Guard, I think center would be a lot better, of course, because you're getting rapid fire and true damage. When I got this Blitzcrank, I think just adding a Poppy, you know, getting the Moisture is gonna be way more impactful. Didn't mention it before, but I did substitute the Nico for Tom as well. Obviously, Tom, not a great unit, but I'm getting that Bruiser traded in. This set has a lot of really great splash traits. Bruiser, Sentinel. Bruiser giving your team 100 HP, like, total. You know, here I hover over in the past. But yeah, get that 100 HP splash. It's actually really, really relevant in these early stages. And honestly, even as late as stage 4, especially with Sentinel, you know, if you're giving your entire team plus 100 HP, plus 16 MR, plus 16 armor, I mean, all kind of stacks up really effectively. So coming into Carousel, there is a spat here. Definitely wouldn't say no to a spat. I'm sure True Damage Corki is definitely very playable. True Damage pretty much ending up as one of the better effective DPS items, I'm sure, for almost every carry in the patch. Probably almost every carry has a negative delta from picking up that true damage spat. Do have the option for the 4 8-bit here. I think I was considering it. I'm not sure about playing it. I think I was trying to, you know, merit if it was kind of worth it. I'll probably have to end up sacking out of the Blitzcrank. So it'd be minus Blitz, minus Poppy, plus Garen, plus Riven. And I think I just figured that these are just much stronger units for now. So playing the double forecast is probably getting it better than playing the Riven and the Garen. And we're actually at level 7, 50 gold again. So my economy in this game is really, really, really strong. That's partially because of that like pseudo gold opening, partially because of patient study making my leveling way cheaper. Bit of column A, bit of column B. And you see, this Corgi 3 so far, it hasn't really been too great. I'm not saying it's bad. You know, I'm not going to say it was a low roll. That's just kind of absurd. But it has been not super effective. I mean, you know, I'd kind of say it's putting out a similar output to just having like a solid carry at this stage. Solid 2-star carry. Just because I don't have the items for it yet. I'll get a natural Akali here. Get that first Heartsteel cash out. That was 6 gold. That's pretty good. And then I see here actually that I was talking about again, you know, if you could level and you could have 30 gold, it's generally pretty decent to level. So I think I'm looking at it here as an option. Did take the glove on the carousel, by the way. I think again, tier was pretty reasonable. Probably should have thought about tier. It's maybe a bit more effective than a glove, especially since I don't want to make a last whisper. So this glove can't really be anything except like IE Hodge, I guess. But generally Hodge is a bit worse on backline than it is on frontline. I get up leveling here. Playing into the streak player, the other streak. Broken 99. And I think sadly we are going to be able to lose a streak here, even though I leveled to 8 as well. So I definitely leveled to 8 to try and preserve my streak. But yeah, this Corki just isn't really doing enough right now. You know, I'm staring down the Last Whisper, Deathblade, Bow, Jinx. Desperately wishing those were my Corki's items. It'll be a lot stronger for sure. But unfortunately, you know, I didn't really have a great level as well. I kind of just leveled to play another unit. I ended up playing another set. So didn't really have a great reason to level. I kind of just leveled to add another body, you know. Set is set. He's getting benefits from Bruiser, getting benefits from Mosha, you know, another set 1. Is a lot of is another health pool, but fortunately it wasn't quite enough to be able to push through that matchup. Getting our items here. So Shojin components. Look at my items here. I'm actually rolling a bit on 8. I'm not that strong. Yeah, I want to get this big shot in. This is like some sort of mega shop. I end up getting the MF2 set 2. Find a Zac to replace the Calm. And I want to try and sit around 10 here. Don't want to go below 10 generally if you can avoid it. Because it's much harder, obviously, to build up from 10 to 20 to 30 than it is from 30 to 40 to 50. So you want to try and stay around, you know, 10, 20 where you can. I'm actually going to stay at 20 here. Selling off some of the units I'm not going to play. There is a Poppy here. I think I'm thinking about whether I want to make a Poppy 2 or not. I think I end up not grabbing it. But in hindsight, I think it was pretty reasonable. Maybe to just grab it, do a couple more rolls. See if I can hit one more upgrade. Because I think Poppy does fit my board pretty well. I think I was a little bit hyper-focused on kind of keeping that 2 Sentinel, 2 Bruiser frontline. And obviously, I probably want to end up playing Caitlyn. The other reason I'm rolling a lot on 8 as well is because I'm looking for that Caitlyn. If I can get Caitlyn in, I can sack the Blitzcrank and then play 4 8-bit with rapid fire as well, which I think is actually a big spike. So I'm still rolling here for this Caitlyn. I end up hitting this shop with Zac, Poppy, and it's like, well, I guess I stopped there. What can I really do? Unfortunately, I ended up burning through the economy, but we got a lot of upgrades. It's not just like I rolled to 0, didn't hit anything. So you know, had a lot of hits here. It felt like it was still worth rolling for me because if I do hit that Caitlyn, my board spikes quite aggressively because I'm holding the Garen. I end up dropping the Blitz, and I would have ended up dropping the Poppy as well. I think that's why I was hesitant to hold the Poppy before, because I was thinking Poppy is Caitlyn. So I get rapid fire in, I get, you know, 4 8-bit with Garen. And I'd have a pretty solid board. Keeping the Heartsteel in for this stage as well. I think you know, 87 HP. That last loss at the end of stage 3 was pretty much no damage at all. And I'm still feeling pretty confident about my board. So I felt like there was no real need to give up on the Heartsteel for now. And just keep farming it through this stage. If I had hit the Caitlyn, maybe there's a chance I would have just dropped out of Cassante and kept Blitzcrank instead. I think at least for these first 4 rounds, gonna end up keeping the hard steel. Picked up Epitaph, by the way. Great combat only, like I said. Also ended up making the Shojin. Looked at my options here, and I had IE obviously, but that leaves me with Archangel. I guess like tier Rod. I think IE was fairly reasonable. I guess I just felt like it was easier to play around like having an open Rod and open glove than it was like sword, or sorry, tier Rod. I feel like glove maybe had more options, but maybe in hindsight, just an IE would have been better. Then I could look for a blue buff or look for a Shojin. But I suppose I can still do the same with glove, right? It's not really like it's that much of a difference overall. I guess I just figured like getting more uptime on the ability probably synergized a little bit more with the attack speed for red buff. And obviously that big shot effect does depend on big shot's casting, so kind of maximize my damage, I guess. Pretty close fight here. It's a Yone player. Got the Yone on bench, 7 Yones. And got the smaller duplicator there, so 1 Yone off for them. So pretty fortunate I fought them now before they're about to hit Yone 3 next turn, I'm sure. You know how it goes. Normally, as soon as someone hits, then you fight them. Yeah, obviously glove a little bit more limited here as an offensive component because I can't make the last whisper. I mean, I could, but it would just be pretty inefficient because I've already got that even shroud. I'll offer something else if you can. I thought about making a Hodge here, but yeah, like I talked about earlier, not really super happy with the Hodge on backline. I figured I could greed for a bit of more of an offensive item. I think it would be nice to get an offensive item on this Corki. But, you know, gonna end up going for the Steadfast Heart instead here, I think. I think I'm considering here just, I did get a Riven here from the cash out. So yeah, I think I'm just opting to sell a little Blitzcrank, move the items onto a 2-star tank instead. End up just selling the Riven actually. But yeah, I end up dropping the Blitzcrank just to move the items to Zac instead. Zac, it seems a fair bit better this patch. I haven't messed with them too much. This is kind of still one of my first games. Picking up the Zac again. But the buffs seem like they've done him well. I've heard rumblings of an EDM Jax comp that's doing pretty effectively. I'm sure the Zac buffs are helping that a lot as well. I think it's an Ezreal player here. Oh, a pretty close fight, but Corki 3's health pool is pushing through. Man, you see that tracking on that bomb? Sheesh, this Corki guy. Kind of a beast. This Corki 3 fella. Honestly though, again, the Corki 3s are pretty quiet. It's definitely a damage issue. But it has been on the quiet side. Ended up fighting the Riven here again. 23 out of 80. We're on the road to level 9. At this point, I'm definitely looking to go 9. Pretty much have no other reason to roll. I still gotta hit this Caitlyn, I guess, but I'm not gonna sell a Poppy 2 for a Caitlyn 1. I'm probably not gonna sell a Sentinel. Okay, I mean, I guess I could drop Cassante for Caitlyn. That's probably pretty reasonable. I would lose that Sentinel, but I'm mostly playing a Bruiser frontline anyway. So I guess if I did find a Caitlyn, dropping Cassante here would be the play. But I am playing that Heartsteel still. Kind of just the same vibe. 87 HP. There's no real reason to drop the 3 Heartsteel. It's still giving me useful traits. I mean, the Aphelos is a little dead, but I'm going to be playing Cassante and Set right now anyway. No real intention of dropping those for now. Yeah, Poppy's blocking so much damage. Maybe I should have been items on Poppy. I was wondering if maybe it was better to have the items on Poppy, but I think with the Bruiser scaling, it's probably more efficient to put them on Zac. But this Poppy's kind of tanking up a storm. Like the stats in that last fight, just kind of go crazy. 8-bit stacks, kind of sort of reasonable. This board's actually kind of low damage. I didn't really think about the fact that like I basically only have damage coming out from Corki for the most part. So I think I'm actually not doing that much damage per round. I mean, I could just be facing squishier boards, I guess. A Raptor's coming. Final itemization coming out. You get a cloak. And I was like, ah. Ah. I think I'm thinking here about Gunblade. And I'm thinking, there's no way Gunblade is like enough damage, right? Surely. You know? So I'll for the Abyssal Mask instead. I'm still greedy this Corki item. I feel like I was a little unlucky with the item drops this game. Not kind of getting this 3-item Corki online earlier. It's stuck with a 2-item 3-star Corki. No, 1-item most of the game. So that's been kind of unfortunate. definitely could be having a lot more dominant fights, I think, if I'd happen to get another item on my Corgi at some point. But it still hasn't worked out yet, so I guess I'm banking on the carousel. Fighting against RE2 Akali 2 here. KDA Akali. I did have good positioning for it. I do have Aphelios in that corner for this kind of matchup. Maybe for crowd divers. Although, to be honest, if I want to dodge crowd divers, Corki should be one space to the right. But sadly, still didn't pan out. 42 to level at this point. Yeah, I'm considering just getting the level out. I'm going to go ahead and roll a little bit here on 9. Still looking for that Caitlyn, you know. One turn from the Heartsteel cash out. I do end up making a Blitz too, but yeah, I don't want to put it in yet. But it is a replacement for that Cassante for the next turn. And it would be nice to find a Caitlyn. Dare I ask? But yeah, we are going to get to 9. Pretty stable, 73 HP. Definitely not in the bad spot at all. I mean, this Corki 3 has definitely saved me a lot of health throughout the game. Don't get me wrong. It just hasn't, you know, been as dominant as you might imagine a 3 cost would be immediately. Or a 3-star, sorry. Considering I got it pretty much a free on 2.5, I just haven't really had the itemization to really take advantage of it. Unfortunately, going to go against the Yone play here. Honestly, if I was scouting a bit more aggressively, or, you know, at all. Cough, cough. Notes for future me. Probably would have seen the Yone was hovering this side, and I could have pivoted to the other side, because I think it's definitely possible to win this matchup if I get Zac in front of the Yone. And, yeah. So I'm going to get my final Heartsteel cash out here. Take a Yorick. End up rolling and hitting another Yorick. I was like, okay, I guess that's Yorick pair. And, just looking here. I think maybe just like Caitlyn player, pair, Garen. Actually up to 7. Man, I'm just a genius, no? That was insane. Yeah, I actually ended up opting to sell the Poppy here for some more rolling gold. I think I'm just trying to get a Kate 2 online. Because I definitely feel like I need more damage right now, especially because of my lack of damage itemization, so I just need like another unit to be putting out more DPS. And I end up rolling into a Yorick 2 here. I mean, I'm level 9. It's not absurd, you know? It's a little absurd. It was Yorick 2 in what, 5 rolls? A bit of a high roll there. That gives me a good unit to put the TG on. But yeah, I think I was going to end up transitioning from Yorick to Poppy anyway. Sorry, Poppy to Yorick anyway. So I hope to just go ahead and just get that out of the way anyway, just to give myself some more gold to roll. But yeah, I did get a bit lucky there, getting the additional Yorick upgrade. So looking at this carousel, definitely obviously still looking for that Corki item, and there just really isn't one. I mean, I guess Ginsu is my best bet. Maybe another Shojin, but they're pretty terrible. I do have an 8-bit spat here, and I suddenly was thinking, like, this seemed like a good game to test, maybe. Is 6 8-bit a win con? I know they've definitely buffed 6 8-bit a lot, reworked the final score, made it a lot more, you know, contestable, realistically. But I haven't managed to ever really play it myself. But I do end up taking this back here. I'm thinking this is maybe an alternate win con I can play for. I have a lot of health. So I might be able to get to that 8-bit. And yeah, I do end up hitting the Rivet here. I still have Aphelios, which obviously is rapid fire for my Caitlyn, but my Caitlyn's still 1-star. So it's not super impactful right now. I do pick up the Thresh, which is obviously going to go in for this Yorick at some point. Probably going to end up dropping Sentinel long term. Obviously you want to play the Blitz 2 for now. Blitz 2 is a Blitz 2, but it's probably going to be allowing for Zac and Blitz for that Thresh for that Blitz, just to get that, you know, set Alawi, Thresh, Yorick frontline. Pretty much the best capped frontline you can hit in the game right now. So yeah, we're gonna get 6 8-bit in. It's getting pretty crazy. Fighting against Broken 99 again. Very, very strong country board. Double bulk. These units are mad tanky. And we're gonna take another loss here. Getting down to 42. Definitely getting a little dicey, HP wise. Obviously, we got probably 3 lives. But I am getting to a point where I'm gonna need to hit some of these upgrades. Hopefully, a Corki item off the dragon, so my Corki can actually put out some real damage. Because I mean, a 3-star 1 cost obviously is great, but it is gonna fall off at this point in the game. Gonna start getting outcapped by some of these other boards. You know, 3-star 3 cost versus 3-star 1 cost. It's kind of, it makes sense that Samira would win. You know. It makes sense. Although I do have some pretty good augments. Obviously, Patient Study falling off a fair bit at this point. But Epitaph, Unified, both really great augments. You see, we are trickling up that score. This might be the last one. This might be the 10th score. 225 before you get to that high score. So we're getting pretty close to actually maybe being able to contest for that 8-bit cash out. Should be able to farm the remaining 12k off the dragon here, I'd imagine. I don't actually know how much health dragon has. Anyone know? Any knows? Can we right click that? Anyone? Hey, you in there? I guess not. So yeah, definitely considering the 8-bit cash out is kind of a win con here. I don't even know if this is realistic at this time or at the time. I think I was just kind of thinking like it's a line. Yeah, I mean I do have that 8-bit plus Corki. I've kind of been plagued with having to play the weaker kind of version, I'd say, the whole game of that Corki, but it might be paying off at this point because it is going to allow us to get that 8-bit in. I open this thing. Can you believe it? There's not a single Corki item, dude. This is crazy. I do get a remover off the dragon, though. So I ended up taking the QSS because, you know, at least it's DPS. I see the 8-bit Caitlyn here, and I'm like, am I meant to take this for like half a second? But I'm like, no. That doesn't make any sense. And we're going to get the Thresh 2 here. Considering making it, thinking, is it worth to drop the Blitz yet? With a Yorick or a, I should have dropping the Zac. Actually, I think that's reasonable as well. I think the Blitz is probably tankier. Probably a little bit of a better unit. But yeah, I was thinking like with the Yorick 2, insane Turbo Biss Thieves Gloves. Pick up, by the way. I mean, not really. It's a Ionic Spark, but you know, it's better than what you normally get. End up itemizing the Blitzer instead. So I actually ended up dropping Bruiser instead. I think that's probably fair. The 100 health isn't really that great at this point. The team-wide health, where compared to resists, which are a bit more effective now that all my units have a much higher base HP. Obviously, earlier in the game, Bruiser's a lot more valuable. 100 health is pretty crazy. But yeah, at this point, definitely not as relevant, just because you know base health is a lot higher. I was considering here, is 6 8-bit actually worth it? As you can see, we are kind of looking for that final score now. You see, I'm still really hesitant. I don't really know if this is a realistic win con to be like, hey, I'm gonna play 8-bit, guys. 6 8-bit, here we go. Gonna cash out. It didn't really seem like it was necessarily a line. Gonna end up running into the Samira player again here. But my front line is a lot stronger than it was last time, I think, overall. Got that Guardian in now for the Yorick. Itemizing that Blitz too. Do have Caitlyn too as well for more damage. Honestly, I think that's one of the biggest things. And we have completed the 8-bit stacks at this point. You see, the fight's pretty close, but actually, the QSS as well, third item on Corki finally, we are able to take them down, finally. Did take a long time to get here, and we're definitely not too happy with these 3 items. Gonna end up grabbing the Alawi pair here. Obviously, I do want to get this Alawi in, probably over Blitzcrank. We'll be going back to Bruiser at that point, but, you know, Bruiser Alawi, that's quite a bit better than the alternative. Zac. Bruiser Zac. I sleep. Alawi Bruiser. That's insane. I mean, you know, 5 cost. Alawi, pretty much the best in the game. Gonna try and end up dodging this Yone player here, I think. Okay, I guess not. Oh, I just saw it was this player, so I'm just to the other side. I want to be playing front to back on my comp, so just trying to get my back line as far away as possible. My front line has more time to pull damage. I mean, honestly, I am kind of playing into Ezreal a bit, but I think it's still correct. My units do end up barely living the Ezreal. Very close. This is definitely a big fight to win. If I can, and I can't. So, pretty unfortunate loss there. 16. That's pretty close to 1 life. I think 16 at stage 6 is still reasonably 2 lives. Barely. Looking for another Corki item here again. Would you believe it? There isn't one. I'm still stuck with this QSS on Corki. I was trying to think of like what was the most value here. Maybe Redemption was reasonable, but I think I ended up going for the Bruiser spat. Just getting that Bruiser on Thresh as well. And if I don't hit the Alawi too, it will give me that 2 Bruiser. I end up selling out of the Blitz here as well. So I figure rolling down more for Alawi. And we do end up hitting it just in time. Ooh. Final roll. That was pretty fortunate. I got muted there. Oops. That was pretty fortunate, I'm not gonna lie. But again, you know, I was gonna sell out the Blitz anyway. You end up getting that's twice now actually. I've sold out of my previous unit and then hit the unit I was upgrading into with the extra gold. So I guess I'm just really good at predicting when I'm gonna hit that unit. So we do get the 3 item Alawi. Big upgrade for the Blitz. 2-star tentacles really helpful for the front line. End up positioning pretty badly to the Yone player here, unfortunately. So we're gonna end up getting pretty stopped. But my team does kind of pop up. It's a 2-unit loss. We barely survived. Like I was saying, 16 on stage 6 is debatably 2 lives. The Ezreal player is gonna go down, leaving 3 here. Then there was 3. Got the Samira player alive. I'm definitely hoping for this matchup. Just giving myself more time. And look at that. Look at that 8-bit counter. 316271 out of 345678. So close to jackpot woked. Woked indeed. It looks like we might hit it. If we win this fight, we'll get the dragon, obviously. Set 3 drops. I'm saying here, I honestly, I wasn't even sure if I could get enough damage in 2 rounds. But looking back at it, his board is insanely tanky. We're getting so much farm. It's like my dream matchup to like farm stacks on. Double bulk, like 4 3-stars. If we can win this fight, we're getting like infinite 8-bit value. And that is exactly what happens. 34, 3989. We're pretty much guaranteed to get the 8-bit cash out at this point. And then it kind of comes down to, is the 8-bit cash out enough to win the game? You'd hope so, right? I mean, they did buff it a lot. They changed the number. They made it reasonable to get. It's a vertical trait that you need to spam for. You'd hope it's pretty good. But we'll see. I think I got so nervous here. I'm pretty sure my arcade machine despawns. I was like, are you kidding? Where is my machine? I was like, you don't stack on the dragon. But then he comes back and it's stacked. It popped. So, yeah, this was kind of crazy. I got 3 support items. I got an Abyssal Mask, which is an item with no value. So I guess I got some item that you're meant to get, but couldn't. And then I'm in roll mode, baby. 4 golden Nikos. I'm like, we're getting a 3-star legendary. I roll over a Yorick like an idiot. Infinite gold spawning from the machine. This cash out is crazy. I actually got insanely lucky, to be honest, that I was fighting a ghost. I tried to place the mask. I'm like, I know this is the bugged item. What am I like? You see the gold is just still spawning. It's crazy. I just picked up 50 gold. I had an item as well. I played this turn so slow. But to be honest, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what the cash out was. We actually ended up getting a death blade. I get a death blade from my 6 8-bit cash out anvil. Like, can you believe it? That's what I had to play for to get a quirky item. Like, how insane is that? So power rolling here, looking for 4 costs. I got 4 golden ecos. I just need 5 copies of a legendary. Looking for 4 costs. I got 5 costs, sorry. So just trying to hit anything. 4 Lucians, 4 Jins, 4 Alaois. Hello, come in. Anybody out there? Bam, Yorick. Time is running out. I'm speed running. Just manages to combine. My god, if it didn't combine, it would have been a disaster. I ended up putting the death blade on the Caitlyn. I probably should have removed the Corki. But at this point, I hit the Yorick. I'm like, you know, we're chilling. And it turns out, I think at this point, I found out that it gives you more golden Nikos. I didn't even need to panic, dude. I could have just spammed them. I'm pretty sure it dropped me another Fawn. Yeah, I didn't realize that it would still drop you items, I guess, if your bench wasn't full. But I think my bench was full from all the stuff. So yeah, I got another golden Nico here. I got another Fawn. I'm like, whatever, dude. 150 gold. I probably should have sent it to 10 at this point. I don't know. What do you do? What do you do at this point other than win? I'm still getting gold. I just don't know, man. I was rolling. I was like, whatever. Probably should have put Jin in. I don't know. Jin over MF. Probably. Doesn't matter. Not really. Yeah, there's another golden Nikos. I end up getting 6. Yeah, I don't know, man. Hello, Yorick 3-star is Yorick 3-star. The Giga Ghoul delivers the killing blow. And there you go. 6 8-bit. That's a win con. Yeah, I wasn't really sure about this game. I was like pretty hesitant. I was like, is it actually a win con? Is this a reasonable line I can play? Like, you know, is the 6 8-bit gonna take the game for me? And it looks like, yeah, it's definitely something you could do if you're in a situation where you've already got 4, potentially 5. Maybe that spat is your way out. But it was a lot of fun to hit that win con. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. and seeing that Yorick 3-star kind of tear up the game at the end with the Giga Ghoul. Yeah, if you enjoyed the commentary, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below with any feedback you have for me. And yeah, I'll probably end up doing more videos like this when I have games I do off stream. But yeah, most of the time you can check out my stream, twitch.tv/Jabin_, where I'm playing TFT every day, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. CET. So yeah, competing on the European ladder. And yeah, hope to see you guys there. Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate y'all. Peace.